This is JNDI layers. We can see that, okay, JNDI SPI and this is the JNDI API. Okay, so the JNDI API just expose those interface to outside, so allows Java applications to use JNDI. Okay, so this is the red line is the JNDI API. And you can see this is JNDI SPI. SPI is just used to hide the difference between different types of interface. For example, this is IMI, this is a core bus, this is AirDAP, this is NDS, okay? And JNDI SPI can just cover or hide this difference between different types of technologies, okay? I think this is easy for you. Common uses. JNDI ENC enterprise naming context. So EJB lookup within a J2E app server. AirDAP integration, dynamical registry of a service and a client, peer-to-peer computing. So we can see this application scenario you can use the JNDI. Now I know that when you read this slide, you may think that, okay, I don't know what it is talk about. So don't worry. This is just the introduction of this course. So we will describe them later in detail. Okay. Now next one. So JNDI example. The session being, okay, we have already talked about it before actually. Now we can see that here. Initial context, the JNDI context, no initial context. This is just initialize JNDI's example, object. Now this one, JNDI context, we can use a lookup. Now this is what? This is an ID of a session being. This is an ID of a session being, interest and interest. Now after that, we have got the reference to a what? The session being here. REF means the reference to the session being. So we can see that the EJB or the session being provider just registry their session being into the JNDI. Now, from the perspective of the client can also use the JNDI to look up their want being, right? Their want being. So just with the help of the JNDI, the client can use their required session beings reference. Okay? Yeah, okay, just read this slide for 1 minute. You can understand it. JTA, okay. And the JTS transactions. The Java transaction API we call the JTA. And there's a Java transaction service we call the JTS, allow J2E application servers to take the burden of a transaction management off of the component developer. Developer can define the transactional properties of enterprise Java Bean technology-based components during design and deployment using declarative statements in the deployment descriptor. The application server takes over the transaction management and the responsibilities. So this is just the introduction of the JT and the JTS. Okay, so just read this slide carefully to understand what it is, and don't worry, this is just the introduction, and we will just introduce JT and JTS in detail later. Okay, so for 2 minutes for you.